Welcome everybody. It's Frank. Everything black. Give me 1 second. Trying to get my sounds right. Give me 1 second. Oh, thank y'all for joining. That was a short applause. Yeah, let's get started. I've been noticing that the black leaders in the Democratic Party seem to forget that we have issues. And when I say we, I mean Foundation Black Americans have issues that has not been dealt with. So, like, for instance, reparations. Brutality by police. A crime bill, hate crime bill for black people only. We don't have that. There's a lot of things that we need to take issue with, but they seem to be always working on other things when it comes time to work on us. So Jasmine Crockett is basically running for Senate right now. She got 2 black leaders that want to take her place in the 30th Congress district in the Dallas area, or shall I say Texas area. And these people act like we don't have any problems. They worried about everybody else's problems but ours. Check it out. I'll let you see it for yourself. Let me lower the music down.
District, now that Jasmine Crockett is running in the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate. It remains a Democratic majority district, and the 2 main candidates running for the seat are Pastor Frederick Haynes III, senior pastor at Friendship West Baptist Church, and former Dallas City Council member and state representative Barbara Mallory Caraway. We went one-on-one with both. Caraway, who has run for Congress various times, explains why she's running again now.
The difference is it's an open seat. Obviously, the person I challenged early on was Eddie Bernice Johnson. She had been in the community for many, many years, but this.
Now, Eddie Bernice Johnson was the one who got Jasmine to become the 30th District Congress, to sit in that seat. Miss Bernice, in the early 70s, 80s, I'm gonna say late 90s, I'm gonna just say 80s, because that's when they start manipulating black people in that time. Saying that they're gonna deal with black issues and ended up dealing with everybody else's issues just like they do today. So Miss Mallory here comes. I mean, she's been waiting on her time to sit in that seat. She thought that before Jasmine got there that she would be sitting in that seat, because she's for everybody. She's a everybody issue candidate, just like the other guy, the preacher, is a everybody candidate. He's for everybody issues. And, it's like asking Martin Luther King to run for president or something, or run for office. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't his position. Dr. King wasn't in politics for office. He represented Black issues, Black people, and talked about Black things. These candidates today, and Dr. Martin Luther King warned them about that. He warned them about ignoring Black people problems. Black people put you in office so they can have better chances of getting things done in their neighborhood, in their district. But these candidates always get our votes, and then they deal with other issues. And we might get a little fraction of the bone. And then they'll say, well, we need more people like us in here. And then, Black people go back to the board and retry to get somebody else in there to gain more ground. And all we get is, we've been with them over 50 years, the Democrat Party. And I ain't saying the Republicans know better, but we never get our issues settled. The Black Wall Street, that lady passed away over there in Oklahoma, and dealing with that, and she never got her issues dealt with. So what they're trying to do is wait till we die, and then they'll say, oh, well, they're gone now, we don't have to deal with their issue. But the problem is, we don't die, we multiply. So we're still here, and now they got to eventually face up to what the Black issue is, and that's reparations and a Black hate crime bill. Anti-Black hate crime bill is what we need, and reparation. And once we get that, we can deal with the rest. We need tangibles, and they don't want to give us tangible. They want to deal with everything else in this world, but deal with us, because we're going to cost them the biggest bag. They always say they don't have money, but look at Minnesota. Look at all them Somalians that came up off scamming. And trust me, they knew what they were doing, because the Democratic Party get a piece of that money. When they get their people in positions, then their people get other people in positions, they are getting a piece of that money. So if it was $1 billion loss, they got 99.900 million of it, and just shared the rest with the rest of them. So believe me, that's why Kamala could have come up with billions of dollars to blow in the last election, and probably come up with a couple of billion this election to try to win this issue, the next election. So y'all watch these people. She's not going to mention anything about Black people. They're more concerned about immigrants than they are the Black people. This is all over the board. I don't care what candidate you're talking to, if they're Black, and we're dealing with different things in our neighborhood, they don't care. They're worried about ICE, and they're worried about healthcare, and they're worried about education. They don't never mention Black issues. And if they do, they'll say, oh, we'll deal with it, and never deal with it when they get in the seat, or when they win the election. They never deal with our problem.
This is very different, because with Jasmine Crockett running for the Senate, this created an open opportunity.
And why should Democratic primary voters vote for you over Pastor Haynes, who's a very popular figure, obviously, in the district?
Well, Barbara Mallory Caraway has held many positions. I was in the state legislature. I was on the Dallas City Council. And so just to start with, I bring legislative experience that either he nor the other candidate has. I always run a grassroots campaign. What's also similar is that I actually started my political career because of my popularity on a gospel radio station, Heaven 97 KHVA.
Now, she was doing good talking about all her experience. But you got to remember, these people been in offices in different places in the government for years. Now, she talked about her entertainment spot, which relates her to the gospel, to the so-called black people, by that radio station, Level 97, which was a good radio station back in the day, I must say. And I don't know if it still exists today, but it was good back then. But she focused more pretty much on that to try to gather, try to gather us up for, to choose her. But she got all the government experience. Pretty sure she need to get that, to fulfill that seat. And, she should fulfill it. But the problem is, she's not going to do anything toward black issues. She's worried about everything else but black issues. She deals with everybody's problems. She gonna name this stuff here in a minute. I'm gonna let her name it right quick for y'all.
So voters should look at me and vote for me for my legislative experience, my willingness and my continuance, and the consistency for running for this position shows my dedication that I am serious about representing the voters of District 6, of District 30. District 6 was in my city council race, District 30, as well as the state of Texas. My experience, my dedication.
So right there, you can see that this lady is kind of confused. She's not nervous because she's been in this seat for a minute, but she seemed like her age is catching up with her by her mentioning District 6 when she's running for District 30. So she had to catch herself. These people are pretty much too old and out of touch. But that's all the Democrats can grab right now, because a lot of young people ain't falling for the bullshit. So we're tired of the bullshit. We want to hear something that's tangible. What are you going to do tangible for the black community? Specifically, because this is a black district. District 30 is a black district. But they don't mention black issues in District 30. In whatever position they run for, again, they do not talk about black issues. It's like that's missing. Like, we got everything in control. Like, all black people don't have any problem. But let her go on. Let's continue.
My tenacity, and my sincere desire to serve the district. I bring a set of skills that neither one of those candidates have, and that's the ability to bridge together people of different backgrounds, socioeconomic opportunities, as well as the opportunity to serve on a higher level.
If you are to win the primary, win the general election, what are your top priorities if elected?
Well, the interesting thing about it is that
that was a good question. Now listen to what she says. The normal shit: healthcare, education, and I forget the third one, but let's go on and let her finish talking.
They are similar to and same as it has been for the last few years. People, and I think the word affordability, and I think that's really a good, just kind of to put it all in a nutshell. But what I have been fighting for not only as a city council member, as a member of the state legislature, I've always fought for better jobs. I've always fought for health care. I've always fought for better education. I have worked as a political consultant to make sure
Again, these are black leaders. When white people get positions, they talk about what they're gonna do for their group. If a Latino get up here, he gonna talk about what he gonna do for his group. He gonna have special, uh, what they call it, special things for their particular group. And I know I'm not saying the right thing on that, but whatever issue they're having, their main concern is to satisfy their constituents. Okay. We're her constituents. We're gonna, more black people gonna vote for her than any other group, but she gonna take care of the other groups first. And that's why we don't trust y'all politicians now. This is the reason why Foundation Black Americans do not trust you politicians. Because y'all deal with everybody's issues but ours. Everybody more important than the biggest group, the biggest block who vote for you. Everybody's more important. Even black people that go out there and vote for them think that these people are gonna do for other folks before they do for them. They don't even care really. They just want to see a black face in a black place. A black face in a high place, I'm gonna put it that way. That's what they want to see. But after that, shit, they go to sleep. And we can't afford to go to sleep now. These people are making rules in our, just causing us major problems. So now we finna go to see what she's really running for. Hold on, let's get over here.
Sure that people have an opportunity, and that's part of my business as a small business owner, but I have partnered with other bodies to promote educational opportunities. So healthcare, housing, you've got your education, they are still the same. But what is different is the
Notice when she talked, she said education. She's finna go back to the jobs thing, but they have no control over jobs. And if they do, it does not benefit black people. It's gonna benefit everybody. These are everybody candidates with a black face. They everybody candidate. They don't give a shit about black people. That's not their main concern.
Atmosphere about which the vitriol and the fact that people don't want to support. You got the top heavy and the bottom is suffering. And so trying to balance those dollars to make sure that everyone can benefit from this wonderful country that we live in. And so those are the priorities that I have fought for and will continue to fight for.
You called ICE a vigilante agency?
Now we're getting down to business of what she's really about. This is what the Democrat Party is really about. Getting rid of ICE so they can run these immigrants in here like they was doing when they were in charge. That's what this is about. So they can always win elections. But their strategy always ends up bad because once the immigrants get established in America, they start voting Republican. It happens all the time. And you still have the black boule and the old Negroes. They vote for these people. But that baby boomer crowd is about out of here. She's part of that crowd. The older black folks, they about out of here. The young ones are not voting this way. The smart ones is not voting this way. We done been through it. By the way, when we was dealing with issues with the police and stuff, nobody came out and fought for us. None of the Republican black leadership or the Democrat black leadership came out and said nothing. They didn't even push a bill. She says she's good with bills, pushing issues through the legislature, but she ain't pushed a bill for black people, for legislation. She's not that good. She ain't got that through.
Well, right now, it is clear that what is happening is that American citizens are being murdered in the streets. People are afraid. They have.
See, this is the lie the Democratic Party used. American citizens is not getting killed out there. I think two have, but these people, and y'all know it, y'all seen them, these people were agitating, getting between law enforcement doing their job and people being picked up. They was getting between them, impeding, what they call it. The two people got shot because they was impeding. I mean, they ain't going around arresting black people. If they do detain some, they release them. Okay? That's because they in between what's going on. They trying to clean up the mess the Democrats made. So they make this false statement that American citizens are getting killed too. Look how many black men was killed during the Obama administration. Nobody said shit. We had to turn up in the streets for these people to pay attention. And it wasn't nobody joining with us. We was out there on our own, getting our own thing done, getting knocked upside our head. Our fellow black men, women, and children was getting killed by the police. Ain't nobody said shit. What was our black leaders at then? What was these black leaders talking about? We need to get rid of the police and all that reform talk. So you see how these black leaders really feel.
Mask on, people don't know who they are, citizens don't know who they are. We really don't know if they're up to par to be trained.
We don't know who some of those cops are in these police departments. We don't really know who they are either. Y'all supposed to been keeping tabs on that on a federal level, but you don't. So handle that business first, then we'll talk about ICE.
To go out and to do the work that they have been tasked to do by the Trump administration. And so I'm saying a vigilante because we don't know who they are.
Now she calling people who are hired by the federal government vigilantes, and are covering their face because people are trying to murder these people and their families. Supposedly, I don't know that, but that's one reason why they say they cover their face. I think they should have body cams on too. But we're gonna say this: when they start saying the Trump administration, that's the government. That's how you know you're dealing with a Democrat, boule type person, or a baby boomer. These old Negroes is Democrats through and through. They don't see all the evil that the Democrats do. If they do see it, they ignore it. And they destroy our communities at the same time. These are dangerous people here.
They're in hiding, and they are pulling guns and literally gunning down people in the street.
Yeah, every one of those Democrats say that right there. They are gunning people down the street. They say that. This is a talking point of the Democrats. This is what they do. They perform it. We can't trust people like this who put on this performative act. Can't trust this person. Even if there's a Republican, you can't trust them. They all lie. I say we get rid of both parties. And black people need to start their own party and get their own grassroots leader or person they want to run for a seat. Not a leader, but somebody we choose to represent us in our issue.
I know that there is a push to abolish ICE. I am not there yet because I think that it needs to revert back to its original mission. And I think with oversight that we will be able to accomplish that.
We also went one-on-one with Pastor Haynes. He told me he never intended to run for office, but was recruited by members of the community.
I was not surprised. I was shocked.
Listen, this man is at every one of Jasmine Crockett's events. This man knows he's lying. Ain't no young people asking him to run for shit. And as a preacher, he's not even supposed to be dealing in the area of politics. He should be dealing in the issues of black people as a black preacher. If you want to get into politics, you should make sure that black people get what they deserve. You should be pushing and talking about reparation, tangibles for black people. You should be talking about anti-hate crime laws to keep the police out black people's asses. And anybody else that's fooling with us. But he don't, and he won't. And all these black leaders are just people that's come to hinder us. The stumbling block in front of us, as you can say.
Again, this is not something that was on my radar, my to-do list, my bucket list, the last thing I ever wanted to do. And so when I was approached, especially after the hearings that took place both in Arlington and Austin, by a number of young people who said, we need you to run for.
The only president asked him to run for office is Jasmine Crockett. That's the only person. Like I said, this preacher shouldn't even be involved in that. If he was doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing, he should be fighting for black issues. He should be fighting for black people. But they take your vote and don't give you shit. This is what they known for. This is what they do. And black people have been getting used to this since the early 70s. Because before then, black people was on cue with each other. In the 60s, we knew what it was. It was everybody against us. We knew that. And we lost that by when certain black people got certain positions, we lost that. It should have been more tighter, but for some reason, we got divided. And I want to say feminism played a part in that too, because now you got women who don't even want to be married, don't want to be wives, and they rather be loving themselves than being loved by a man. But that's a whole nother issue. So we got these preachers involved in politics, riding the train with the white supremacists to make sure we don't get what we need.
Office, I have to be honest, I laughed. And again, it was like, you've got to be kidding me, not me keep looking. And then after, but one of the young people said, Pastor, you've given us every argument for why you should not do this. Family and friends, a lot of prayer. I feel again,
I mean, he sounds just like that Jamal Bryant dude. It's weird how they all say the same thing and stick together with the same thing. And, you know, they can fool those old grandmoms and those old, the old man stick with them just because they, you know, the gay things was starting to pop out in the church. And it was starting to be allowed, you know, heavy. So, like I say, I'm not going to get into that. It's another issue. But like I say, these priests, man, are terrible. They're terrible for the black community. And history has shown that they're up now. Let me get to him, whatever he's going to say on this other issue here.
The table, so to speak, because she has stressed her legislative experience.
Right, right. And again, she has that. I have nothing against Barbara Mallory Caraway. She served well when she was a part of the city council. She also served well as state representative. And I'm sure I voted for her in all of those instances. What I will say, I bring to the table 40 plus years of public service. One of the things that I've heard so much recently is that those who are closest to the problems are the ones who are closest to the solutions. And I believe that with all my heart. So all of these years where I have been giving voice to, fighting for those who are experiencing the problems up close and personal, be it our fight against the payday loan industry that has inundated and targeted certain communities that are unbanked, underbanked as it were, underserved.
Well, they're doing a lot of ad-libbing on this issue. They're doing a lot of ad-libbing, you know. He really don't know what to say. He really don't seem to be prepared for this interview. So, But what y'all think? But anyway, let me talk about some of the things that I do. Put some of my links on here so that you guys can check out a few things that I do. So on my Cash App, you should be seeing it under the screen right now. Let that scroll. Look like my Cash App is there, and then all of a sudden my travel agent is there on the other end. So it's frankblanton.ntltravel.com is my travel agent part, and you can call or just go on there and just book your trip through on my website. That's all you got to do. The next one is you can see you can buy any ticket, football, basketball, any concert you're interested in theater type environment. Just go to frankblanton.goldentickets.com. Get your ticket. If you want some good steaks, go over there on the riverbendsteak.com /Frank Blanton and find you some good prime steaks straight from the cattle. They pull it right off and send it to your home. Just go on there and check that out too. And also you can go and check out my store on mymetalluca /frankblanton.com. Do that for me, y'all. Anyway, it's been a good night. I appreciate y'all checking me out. Like I said, you cannot. Let's get back over here to the preacher before I go. Let's hear what else he got to say.
Fighting for a solution because I was hearing the voices of the people, the cries of the people. When you're close to the problems, I believe you are close to the solution. So I do not have her legislative experience, but I do have experience in public service.
So let me ask you about ICE, because you brought it up, and obviously what we're seeing, the backlash about.
You see what I'm saying? It's just a little playbook. They all say the same thing. It's just a playbook, and we've been on that playbook since the 70s. And we're tired of it. We're sick of y'all. We're sick of the Democrat Party, and we're sick of the Republican Party. But if you want our vote, you're free to create and bring some tangibles to us. And we would appreciate that, and get us an anti-hate crime bill, and we would appreciate that.
About the Trump administration's policies and what's going on in Minneapolis. Should ICE be abolished, in your opinion?
Without a question. ICE must be abolished. You cannot reform something that has developed such a pattern. There's a pattern.
So if you get rid of ICE, how do you capture the immigrants here that's not supposed to be here, just been living here, just been doing time here, just been getting government trials and never even showing up for the government trial? And then you can't find them. So what do you do then, sir, since you're gonna get rid of the ICE program or the ICE department? You're gonna lose right there. So anyway, y'all can vote for these idiots. I'm not. Anyway, this is Frank Blanton, everything black. Black leaders undermining black issues. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Let me play a little bit of my little music. I've been wanting y'all to hear the whole program, but we had to listen to some of it. So y'all rock out with me. enjoy your night. I hope everybody been productive today. I know I've been on flights here and there all day today, so I'm down in my hotel in Jackson. I thought I'd get on here for a few minutes and talk to the family. Everything back, guys. Good night.